He is back, everybody. Before I set up my own YouTube channel, I was heavily invested since May with the viral Reckless Ben Lego story, stolen Lego story. And as those of you that were following it know, he got himself into a little bit of trouble, and he was actually silenced for a little bit by the courts. But I don't think we're going to watch this entire video. Looks like it's 47 minutes long, but I did want to kind of check out some stuff and give my thoughts on it. I just think the story as he's presented it has been fascinating to watch. He's a funny guy. And I mean, I truly think he is trying to do the right thing while also trying to further his endeavors with his YouTube channel audience and whatnot. But anyways, let's take a quick look, and I'll give my thoughts and pause through some of this as we go through it.
I'm about to go to court, and I don't even know what I did wrong. Yeah, Bricks and Minifigs is making up tons of lies about me to the police to try to get me thrown in jail so I can't release my documentary about them. But the crazy part is I'm not even allowed to know what they're saying I did. Legally, I'm not allowed to film inside court, so I formally requested the audio, but since there was no visual, I hired an animator to...
This guy is hilarious. Just the way he thinks things out. Sometimes it's rough, but it doesn't matter. Whatever he presents visually on screen sometimes it just feels unpolished, but because of his humor, his perspective on life and carefree attitude kind of makes the viewer kind of want to follow along anyway.
Animate over it.
Right now, I kind of don't even know what I'm being charged for because all of the body cam footage has been redacted, and they say it's to protect the victims. However, I think there are some redactions that maybe don't make sense and that weren't to protect the victims, and there's some things being said about me that are redacted I don't know about.
I do have some concern in this case with the defendant representing himself. The allegations here relate to the fact that the defendant, he's a person he's a YouTuber, who creates videos, publishes them online, and has been, if this defendant were to represent himself and we were to provide body cams and discovery, we would be now providing additional information and fodder for this defendant to create videos from which he could profit by placing them on YouTube at the expense of our victim. I have serious concerns for that.
I can't believe that. I can't believe that's
the state of Utah is claiming that
reasoning.
if they tell me what I'm being accused of, then I'll use it for content on my YouTube channel. And they can't have that. They're arguing to the judge that the best thing to do...
Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me. How the heck are you going to be afraid of somebody representing themselves? Typically in court, I unfortunately have some experience in court, not criminal court, but civil court. It just makes no sense as to how in the heck they would be afraid or have concerns about someone representing themselves. Typically, a prosecutor or the other side would be jumping at the bit or chomping at the bit, salivating to be able to go against somebody who's representing themselves with no lawyer, because it's typically just easier for them to bulldoze them.
Is to not let me know what's being said about me, which is very strange, but that's their argument. And just in case you haven't been following along with this whole Lego story, this is all happening because I stepped in to help a family who got their Lego collection stolen from a company called Bricks and Minifigs. And for the last couple months, this company's been doing whatever they can to get me arrested so they can keep all the Legos for themselves. And this isn't even just me speculating. One of their own employees literally told us what their plan was.
I got a call from my boss, and it was like, how do we get them arrested?
Dang.
Yeah, they
But
shouldn't have.
eventually, Bricks and Minifigs found out.
I remember with that young employee, that girl, I really felt like they used her for the purposes of furthering their video and content. So I thought that was not the coolest thing to do on Reckless Ben's part, but still, you know, they fell for it.
out that I'm not just some random kid. I'm actually a YouTuber making a documentary on the entire scandal.
So the YouTube guy is named Reckless Ben.
Yada yada yada. Yeah, let's skip ahead.
Just tell him he has a warrant for his arrest.
But the police couldn't arrest me.
Any idea where he actually is?
No idea.
Okay.
I was somewhere very far away. But anyways, back to court. The judge is looking at signing a protective order to protect Josh and all of his statements about me. If this protective order gets signed, then I'll never be able to find out what he's claiming I did.
I got bad news. I don't think we have any more budget for animation, dude.
Oh shoot. So how do we animate this next court scene? I guess if we have to not pay the lawyers, then I guess the animation's more important, right?
So he ran out of money to
Yeah, we decided
animate
maybe the lawyers
this
are actually
video.
more important. So, yeah, we ran out of animation budget. Sorry, guys.
The court's inclined to sign this
See, this is what I'm talking about. Despite running into hurdles, challenges, and whatnot, budget restrictions, this guy just figures out ways to keep his video going and keep it interesting. In this case, it looks like he's just using some sort of animation software, some cheap animation software or something to tell the story with the audio from the court proceeding.
trial protective order unless you have an objection to it.
He's
Mr. Schneider,
literally
and the objection
moving
to
a
such an
static
order.
image of.
Yes, I think there's a bunch of misunderstandings in this case, and so this person doesn't want to get exposed, so he's making up a lot of lies about me to order to like get me arrested before he gets exposed. So that's what this whole thing's about.
However, before I was allowed to show any of the overwhelming evidence I have to support my claims, the judge didn't care about the evidence and signed the protective order anyways.
Mr. Schneider, the court's going to sign
Oh,
this
that's
order and
messed up.
serve it upon you.
So the court has made it clear they do not want to look at the evidence and they want to protect Josh and Brandon for some reason. And now I have to somehow fight a court case against all of these mystery crimes against me that I have no clue what they're even saying I did. So this whole mess is happening in American Fork, Utah. But I'm also being charged with another case in Provo, Utah. This is where corporate bricks and minifigs is, which is why I'm also being charged here. And this police department has surprisingly actually followed the law when it comes to discovery, and they sent me all the raw body cam footage of what I'm being charged for. Let's start at the beginning, the moment I first met the CEO. The reason I'm talking to him right now is because before exposing this company for the grand theft they committed, I thought it was in good faith to give them an opportunity to do the right thing first before I make a documentary about this.
You had like $200,000 worth of Lego.
I'm not gonna lie. I watched all of the previous Reckless Ben videos, okay, and I, based off of what I've seen, and then also all of the other crazy explosion of internet videos that have come out since with other people, other parties. I am not a fan of this guy. He's pretty much, I think, destroyed his life for the next few years at least. Hey man, I'm all for individuality and looking however you want to look, okay, but in this case, his mustache is absolutely terrible. Like most people across the internet agree. I agree. I don't know that I would full-time in the real world grow a mustache like that. Although, you know, if you're an actor or you're, I don't know, hired for some sort of like commercial work or something and you have to have that look, fine. But that's just talking about his looks. What's worse about this guy, the worst thing, is his insides and his lies. Pretty soon here, I think Reckless Ben reveals how he lies, like just flat out lies. Outdoors, what he said to these guys is one thing, and then he immediately goes in.
You're at the store.
You'll see.
Never happened.
But the CEO
Here
did
it
not
is.
want to take the opportunity to do the right thing
After they
and
leave.
instead instantly called the cops on us.
Hi there, I'm calling to report a crime.
They themselves say, hey, you guys stole this product from this person. If you don't give it back, I'm going to burn the place down. Or we're going to burn the place down.
They
or
never said that.
I'll kill you. It's Ben Snyder.
They
who's
never
the one
threatened.
engaged in this behavior.
You can see in the police
They never
report that the
threatened
crime he wanted to get us charged
kind
for
of-
is called extortion, which basically means we're threatening him into paying us.
Okay, so he immediately went inside, called the cops, and then later, or at least from that audio that Reckless Ben played, he he says that they made some threats that were nowhere to be found on any of the videos that Reckless Ben posted. So this is just a case of him being really, Reckless Ben being really good at documenting everything that's been going on. So he's lucky he covered his butt there. But this guy, again, this happens in real life everywhere, in the courts, all over the place. People will lie. People will bend, twist the truth to serve whatever narrative they want. And this guy seems to be, if you've been following this series of videos, he's just been doing this as a living, apparently. So let's skip ahead. I don't, yada, yada, yada. Let's see. No, Reckless Ben is hilarious. I'm going to just play a little. Oh.
Hi, my name is Justin.
No.
I ride motorcycles, and this is the Alpha Cool.
We're going to bear through this.
The way this
really
vest
quick.
works is that
CEO Eamon McNeff of Bricks and Minifigs in an obstruction case. And so if you could give me a call back at your earliest convenience, that'd be awesome.
Hi, my name is Justin.
What
I
it-
ride
how
motorcycles,
many
and
ads
this
do I
is
have to
the Alpha
watch?
Cool cooling vest. The way this vest works is that
Yeah, cool.
We're sorry. Your call cannot be completed.
Yeah, literally no matter what I tried, I could not get a hold of this police officer. So I'm traveling all the way back to Utah to go back to the Provo police station in person to see how the police investigation against Ammon is going. And I just so happened to get a hold of the police schedule and arrived at the exact time this officer was supposed to arrive. But before I could speak to this officer, one of the other police officers called into the front desk and asked to talk to me.
I'm not seeing him on duty right now.
Really? They said he was going to be here today at 3 o'clock.
It seems to me like the way that Reckless Ben keeps coming across is, I think he's almost intentionally playing more innocent than he is, in an almost childlike way to achieve the goals that he wants, which is, I mean, entertaining. It's masterful. As far as getting a reaction and getting an audience and making people be interested. But it just reminds me of like what, a young kid, maybe 8 or 9 years old, 10 years old, when they're just learning what's right and wrong in the world, how they would keep spouting off questions to an adult. That's kind of the approach I think he takes. And he uses it. He uses it to his advantage. I think he's not quite as immature as he presents himself to be. But he's definitely selling it for a purpose.
There's always the chance that they might have called out sick or something.
Is there any way that you can check if he's here, or?
He's definitely scheduled to be here. Like I said, they might have called out sick or something.
Are you able to look and see how the case is going? All I really want is kind of just an update on the case.
That's not something that I can tell you over the phone.
Okay, you can't even just tell me how it's going, if he's still looking into it, or?
No, I can't. That's not something I can do.
Okay, well, thank you.
So basically, I came all the way out here to find 0 answers, but eventually I did find an answer. They sent it to me in the mail, and looks like I was right. The police only had time to take on one of our cases, and it was Ammon's, not mine. Yes, the case that had an overwhelming amount of evidence.
So
they
correct.
thought that case was garbage, and they took on the case that has 0 evidence at all. In the police body cam.
This is just not looking good. It's not looking good for the police departments involved. It's already been dissected all over the internet. I'm not gonna get into every detail of it, but these guys were definitely trying to cover up a lot of mistakes that they made. Good for Reckless Ben for getting his first right speech back and making this video to further tell his side of the story. It's a good watch. I recommend you guys watch it. I already saw it last night, and I just wanted to make a few comments. absolutely fantastic how it breaks down. This guy Ammon, his life is over. His life is over. This just goes to show you, don't ever think that you've gotten too big and that you're better than other people in the world. This guy somehow weaseled his way into a CEO position with this company. This guy and his brother sued their own father. They got arrogant and cocky in the ways of legal proceedings and law. They think they seem to operate businesses as if they themselves are lawyers and judges, and that they have extensive knowledge in legal proceedings. And it's absolutely it's destroyed them. It's destroyed them because Reckless Ben had such a huge audience. And honestly, his initial video of all of this was very well done, to where people were immediately invested and enthralled. So that's a good look on his face, probably for how he feels just about every hour of the day until this all calms down.
Is, people whose goal is to do those types of things, they just harass and go after people as long and hard as they can until somebody breaks and says something that,
right.
Then they can, use that one clip to be like, oh, look at this horrible monster of a person.
You've given them that ammunition, dude.
Really happened here.
So Ammon's claiming that I just harassed him for 30 minutes and finally he got fed up with us, which that was the one clip at the end that I used in my documentary. So I say let's go to the very beginning of the footage, my first interaction with them, and see what actually happened.
Yeah, and then they show footage that I don't know how he got it, but he gets all this footage, makes this guy look like such a sleaze. He tries to accuse Reckless Ben of like really horrendous crimes, like literal murder. Like he accuses him of potentially wanting to shoot their office or something. Here he is.
Perfect. Okay.
Signing.
There you go.
The documents.
Okay.
That would allow the
Really, this was
police
like the final
to
step
go
that I
after Reckless
needed.
Ben.
This is legit. We've been able to verify who he is now.
Yep.
So the police put on this big performance to make it look like they're going to all this work to verify the facts, when in reality, they already know who I am. They already subpoenaed Google. They already watched my entire first Lego video. They already went through all my search history. To me, this just feels like a staged performance so they can show the world, hey, look, we verified everything, when if they would have just put an equal amount of effort into watching the raw footage I submitted to them, they would have found out that Ammon's just completely lying to them. But for some reason, they didn't.
Yep.
A few weeks later, when I ended up going to court, this was the state's response.
My name is Nick Mielstein. I'm the prosecutor. Is Benjamin Schneider here?
Yes.
If you want to take care of that today, we could do what we call a plea in abeyance.
Were you able to see the footage I submitted to the police of our interaction?
I have not watched it, no.
Okay, because in that footage, you can clearly see that the second he tells us to leave, we say, okay, we'll leave. And then he calls the police and said that we threatened to burn down the building and shoot everyone inside. And he was just making up all these lies, which you can clearly see in the footage that we submitted. We were being respectful the whole time. We left the second he told us to.
Sorry, let me look.
And so it makes sense why the police would take me to court, because,
See?
I mean, he's threatening that
This
we're
is
going
what
to
I'm
burn down the
talking
building
about.
and
This is what I'm talking about. He sounds like he comes at this from it's almost like he reverts every time he has to defend himself to a childlike mentality, which is entertaining. It works. I don't think it serves him well in an actual professional setting or a legal setting in a courtroom, but I mean, it is entertaining, and I think that's ultimately his purpose. I think it seems like he feels like everything's going to work itself out, and that because he's righteous and does the right thing, that he's always going to kind of get out of things. But I don't know, some of the charges that have been brought against him, I mean, there's potential to go to jail and be put away for like years. I think up to 15 years for one of the charges. So I don't know. I am invested. I can't wait to kind of see what more he's going to do, because apparently he has a lot of videos still. There's a lot of content to be made from this. Let me play the end.
Worked, because after a full month of remaining silent, I finally have an announcement.
Well, it looks like I don't need this disguise anymore.
Because I have my freedom of speech back, baby. I can say whatever I want. I can say bricks and
This guy.
minifigs sucks. I can say bricks and minifigs still should hold people. And look, I just said it. I'm not in jail.
He obviously
which is
loves
sick.
drone shots.
We got our First Amendment rights back. Yeah.
And now that I have my freedom of speech back, everyone is wondering how bricks and minifigs can make up for the fact that they made up all these lies about me to take away my freedom of speech. Most legal experts are saying I could easily win millions of dollars from bricks and minifigs, but instead, I have a better solution.
If they want to apologize, they can say that they're sorry by doing the chicken dance. And I will take that as a sincere form of apology. And once they do the chicken
Translation, I know that they're not going to do the chicken dance. I've already tried to get them to give back Legos, and they have done crazy stuff to me. So I'm going to come up with an idea that's completely impossible for them to do, and it'll keep my content going for my channel, and I get to keep making entertainment for you all, and I get to keep being super famous.
dance, then I will know that Bricks and Minifigs is sorry, and we can finally move on to the next video series, and it'll be awesome. So you guys might be thinking, why do you want them to do the chicken dance? And there's actually a reason. So this entire time, Bricks and Minifigs always says the right thing, but then their actions don't match their words at all. So I was thinking, well, if they get given an apology, they might say the right things, you know, but they're not actually gonna mean it. So by doing the chicken dance, I'm gonna basically just be giving them another opportunity to do the right thing, not just with their words, but with their actions. And once they decide to do the right thing, then I'll move on to the next video series and never talk about Bricks and Minifigs again. And also make sure to check us out at www.westealfromoldpeople.com because right now we have 2 new Lego sets for sale that you can buy right now. One of Joshua Johnson and one of Ammon McNeth. And we're only making 500 of each, and once all 500 of
Those
each
are probably gonna
sell
sell
out,
out.
we're never making any more. And you gotta buy them now because someday they're gonna sell for like $1 million or something. They're gonna be collectibles. It's gonna be sick. Also, subscribe to Patreon. You'll get tons of behind the scenes, tons of extra footage, full interviews. Also, part 4 is coming soon. If you subscribe to Patreon, you'll be the first to watch it. And also, subscribe to part 5. Subscribe to part 6, part 7, all the way to part 100. We're doing 100 parts.
100
My lawyer
parts.
said if Bricks and Minifigs sues me, which they've still not dropped their lawsuit, then it'll be at least 2 years and 52 weeks a year. That's 104 parts at least. So come back all the way till 100.
That's enough. Okay, so yeah, this I mean, obviously this guy is going to Reckless Ben. He's become famous off of this. I think probably for the rest of his life he's going to be known as the stolen Legos guy. But he's hilarious. He's funny. I think, you know, like I said, I was invested in the videos for the latter part of May through the first part of June when it was at its peak. And then all of a sudden he got silenced. So I was sitting quiet there. And then all of a sudden I saw the video pop up to where he's able to post again and start making videos about all this. So highly recommend watching his channel. Very entertaining stuff, although some of it's just wild and out of this world. But yeah, I think he achieved his goal of becoming super famous off of YouTube and his reckless antics. All right, that's it for now. I'll go ahead and end it. Thanks, everybody.